What are some indications of phoniness? Today, let's look at 7 signs that somebody may be being a phony with you. So being a phony is a tough one to talk about. It's very subjective in a way. There's a gray area with it because somebody may be doing it out of fear. We don't know what the motivation is. They may not know themselves well at all, if at all. Or it could be coming from a very knowledgeable, manipulative place where somebody knows what they're doing indeed, and they're trying to control you like a puppet. So phoniness can be coming from many different places, some of them naive and innocent, based on perhaps being a victim of childhood trauma of some sort. You don't know what you're all about. So of course you're presenting a phony self to the world because you had to be phony with your own parents. Or it could be coming from a place, say, of narcissism. So I came up with 7 things that popped to the top of my head in trying to detect phoniness, understanding phoniness. There's many more examples in what I'm mentioning. I'm just mentioning 7 in this video. The first thing that I came up with is that you're noticing, you're detecting that somebody is deflecting. They're trying to avoid something. You can tell with the way they're having the conversation with you. They're trying to steer it in another direction. Or you're asking them a simple pointed question and they're not giving you an answer. Or at least an answer that ties in to the question you just asked. So why are they deflecting from that? Why are they circling around it? Why are they quickly trying to change the topic? And that ties into number 2, that you're feeling an agenda right away. They're on some sort of mission with the conversation or the interaction with you. You're sensing an energy that is not just being in the moment, the free flow situation. They have something in their mind that they need to do, perhaps to persuade you, to influence you somehow. The key to do in these moments is to ask them about it. Back with number 1, you can say, I noticed you didn't answer my question. Let me rephrase it for you. Or with number 2 right now, mentioning that you're sensing an agenda. What's this all about? That's how we work with this. We bring it right up, we talk about it, we shine a light on it. And then that'll help us understand the motivation and origination of it all. Number 3, you're noticing their emotions, their reactions don't match up to their facial expressions. It's not congruent. They're telling you supposedly something very happy and joyous, and their face is like this. Or they're telling you something very terrible, something very difficult to hear perhaps, and you're noticing their face is very happy, lighthearted, so notice the incongruency there. Also, is there a huge overreaction to something that doesn't match what just actually happened, what's unfolding? There's an overreaction, or perhaps there's an underreaction to what is actually taking place. What's that about? Now, perhaps that could be fear-based for them, but it's worth asking the question. Number 4, during an interaction, a conversation, or anything along that line, they're acting like they want to get away. They have to get out of here. Or they do indeed walk away. They're trying to get away somehow, and you notice that energy. But they're not telling you, and they're trying to act like everything's okay, but you can sense they're wanting to dodge this. Something phony going on. It's worth pointing out to them, I see that you want to leave. Can I help you in any way? Which ties into number 5, they're thinking ahead. They're trying to present themselves in a certain way. Their mind is very busy, and you can tell that because they're not in the moment with you. They may be saying, what? What'd you say? You can notice the distractions. Now again, this could be coming from something more sinister, we'll say, or it could be that they have lived with a lot of anxiety in their life. Nonverbal cues, body language is so important when it comes to this topic. Number 6, you notice somebody's either always going along with something, people pleasing, or they're disagreeing with everything. They're just a negative Nelly. What's that about? Because either way, you're not getting the real them, right? You're getting an act in a way. They're either people pleasing for a reason, which is not the real them. That could come from emotional incest, for example, some sort of childhood trauma, a victim of some sort of child abuse, or with the automatic negativity, pessimism, the glass is always half empty, then that may be a way of self-protection for themselves, always having a wall up or a boundary. But it's not up to you to figure that out, but you could certainly point that out and ask them about that. Saying to your partner, wow, in the last month or so, I've brought up 3 or 4 or 5 different things we can do on the weekends, and you've been putting them all down, ruling them out without giving them much thought. What's that about? Number 7, picking up an energy that everything is about them. They need to be seen. They need to be the center of attention. It's very important what they say and less important what you say. We don't know where this is coming from. They could have histrionic personality disorder, for example, narcissistic traits, borderline personality disorder, always living in a state of anxiety, wanting to be in control because they were always controlled as a child. So we don't know the origination, but we are noticing what we're noticing. And that's fair game to bring up, to point out what you're observing, what you're sensing and feeling. The way to deal with phoniness is to be honest about it and try to shine a spotlight on it. So I hope these 7 signs are helpful a bit in your life. We all can be phony to a degree, to put on a bit, and that's okay. But when it's a consistent pattern in life, when you rarely, if ever, are getting the truth from somebody and you interact with them a lot, when maybe you need to know the answer to something in a truthful, authentic way, then it's very fair game to bring any of this up, to talk about it. This is how we build intimacy and healthy relationships in our life. Something to think about. Please leave me some comments below. I'd love to hear any thoughts you have about this topic. Please subscribe to my mental health YouTube channel if you like these kind of videos. And until next week, this is Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.